Animal reproduction, milk production, lactation. Aims of lesson. At the end of the lesson, learners should be able to define concepts relating to creative thinking and problem solving. Apply the knowledge and skills associated with the topic of animal reproduction mentioned above. Introduction. Previous content that was dealt with in Term 1 must be linked to the current content. Male and female reproductive system. Synchronization of estrus and mating. Natural mating. Artificial mating. Fertilization and pregnancy. Birth/parturition and dystocia. Purpose of the next lesson is to discuss the content associated with milk production, lactation. Concepts and skills. Milk production, lactation. Lactation is the secretion of milk from the mammary gland. The lactation period is the time period during which the mother secretes milk from parturition until the young is weaned. The dry period is the period from the end of lactation until the mother has another offspring and begins lactating again. Milk ejection is when milk is forced out of the alveoli by contractions that raise the pressure in the udder and force the milk to the gland and teat cavities. It is also called the let-down process. The structure of the udder of a cow. External structure of the cow's udder. The mammary gland of the cow consists of 4 separate glands. Quarters, that are separated into 2 halves by a longitudinal groove called the intramammary groove, which is composed of elastic fibrous tissue. Each gland has a teat. The glands are completely separate, which means that milk that is synthesized in one gland cannot pass into any other gland. The 2 quarters at the rear end are normally larger than the 4 quarters and secrete about 60% of the daily milk yield. The rear teats are usually shorter than the 4 teats. The udder of the cow continues to grow in size until the cow is 6 years of age. The weight of the udder varies with the age of the cow, stage of lactation, amount of milk in the udder, and inherited differences between cows. For the dairy producer, it is important to have cows with large udders secreting large volumes of milk. However, the udders must not be excessively large or poorly attached to the body. Supportive system of the cow's udder. The udder of the cow is attached by 2 groups of ligaments. Median suspensory ligaments, MSL, separate the 2 quarters on the right from the 2 quarters on the left. They provide the primary support for the udder and attach it to the abdominal wall. Lateral suspensory ligaments, LSL, are composed of fibrous tissues. They occur down the sides of the udder, stretching from the tendons around the pubic bones and over the udder, almost surrounding it. Internal structure of the udder of the cow. The secretory system responsible for milk secretion is composed of epithelial cells. It consists of numerous alveoli, Bach alveolus is surrounded by a network of capillary blood vessels and consists of a single layer of epithelial secretory cells. It has a central cavity into which the epithelial cells eject the milk they synthesize. This is where the milk is stored. Each alveolus is also surrounded by small muscle fibers that help to remove the milk from the alveolus. The milk is drained through small ducts into lobules, clusters of alveoli. The milk then passes through a common duct into lobes, lobules grouped together. From the lobes, the milk passes through large milk ducts into the gland cistern. The gland cistern leads to the teat cistern. From the teat cistern it passes through the teat canal. The number of secretory cells is the most limiting factor in determining the udder's milk-producing capacity. A big udder does not necessarily have a high milk production capacity. The teat of the cow's udder. The teat cistern is the cavity within the teat that is located just below the gland cistern and is continuous with the gland cistern. It is where the milk is held before it is removed through the teat end during suckling or milking. The teat canal, streak canal, is a small hole through which the milk is drawn during suckling or milking. It is surrounded by bundles of smooth longitudinal and circular muscle fibers that help to keep the teat canal closed between nursing or milking. Furstenberg's rosette is a longitudinal fold formed where the cistern and canal meet. It helps with defense against mastitis. It folds over the teat canal opening. Milk letdown process and the hormones involved. When the nerves in a cow's udder are stimulated, the hormone oxytocin is secreted by a gland in the brain. Oxytocin causes contractions inside the udder cavities, which cause the milk to release. This is the milk releasing X, which takes 5 to 7 minutes to occur. Certain nervous stimuli must take place in the udder. The washing of the udder with lukewarm water. The presence of the young. The sucking action of the young. Familiar sounds in the milking stable also lead to the secretion of oxytocin. Hormones. Oxytocin. The hormone oxytocin is responsible for the release of milk in the udder. The release of the hormone itself is caused by nervous stimuli. Oxytocin is secreted by the hypophysis and is transported to the udder by the blood. Adrenaline. It is very important that cows should be treated calmly before milking, because rough handling could cause the excretion of the hormone adrenaline. Adrenaline lessens the blood flow to the udder, resulting in less oxytocin and incomplete releasing of the milk. Importance and function of colostrum for a calf. During the first 3 days after calving, the milk secreted differs from ordinary milk. We call this first milk colostrum. Colostrum is more yellow than ordinary milk due to a higher beta-carotene content, and contains antibodies that give the newborn calf resistance to disease. The rate of absorption of the protein antibodies is greatest during the first 6 hours after birth. A calf would suckle from its mother for at least the first 24 hours of its life, and the farmer should make sure that the calf ingests enough colostrum within the first 8 hours. Properties and functions of colostrum. High in the mother's antibodies, immunoglobulin. This strengthens the immunity of the newborn calf. Higher in energy than normal milk, the newborn calf does not have fat reserves yet, so the milk needs to provide all the necessary energy for the calf to stay warm and start initial movements. Serves as a laxative. This is essential to clear out the calf's digestive tract in the first few days of life. Rich in minerals and fat-soluble vitamins, colostrum is rich especially in vitamin A, which is essential for the development of the lymphatic system and epithelium tissue, which are vital for the young to resist disease. Lactation curve. The cow starts secreting normal milk 3 days after parturition. The lactation curve rises until the maximum production is reached about 8 weeks after calving. This peak is maintained for about 2 weeks and production then gradually starts dropping until the cow is dried up in preparation for the next parturition. When milk production reaches its peak, the butterfat content is at its lowest quantity. As milk production decreases, the percentage of butterfat is at its highest. If a cow is fed more fibrous feeds, the milk will have a higher fat content due to the actions of microbes in the rumen. The milk of cows that are fed on concentrates with a lower crude fiber content will have a lower fat content. The amount of milk produced by a cow is influenced by age of the cow. The more pregnancies and lactations a cow has had, the more milk the cow is likely to produce. Pregnancy inhibits milk yield, especially after the 5th month. An increase in the levels of estrogen and progesterone during pregnancy inhibits milk secretion. Temperature changes can either increase or decrease milk yields. The normal lactation curve. Activity/assessment. Learners can also use the following sources of information to do activities. Relevant grade 12 textbooks. Focus Control Testbook grade 12. Mind the Gap Agricultural Sciences grade 12. Pass Agricultural Sciences grade 12, page 61. Pass grade November 12th exam papers. Consolidation. The lesson covered the content as stipulated in the CAPS document. Learners who understand the content should be apply the knowledge and skills required to successfully answers questions based on the curriculum content. Learners will be able to use the knowledge and skills as a sound foundation for progression to the next topic.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more future educational videos.